up to a grand finale, and that anticipation was rewarded with total crap. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down the top 10 worst video game endings.
The paths are open, but you have to choose.
As you may have guessed, this clip contains major spoilers. You have been warned, like Bowser.
Junior, I've got something difficult to tell you about Princess Peach.
I know, she's not really my mama.
The result was an unprecedented level of badly dubbed, 80s-esque Saturday morning cartoon cheese, and one hell of a weak sign-off. I mean, clearly the death of a water gun sounded like a tearjerker on paper, right?
Mario, was I,
Number 9, Resistance 2. As far as pointless slogs go, Resistance 2 probably takes the ultimate prize. Having played through the campaign as Nathan Hale, who is struggling with an alien virus, gamers expected to find a cure at the end. Instead, Hale becomes totally possessed and begins to say some pretty unsettling things.
Can you hear them? They're calling to us. It's beautiful.
So his friends put a bullet in his brain and the screen goes black.
This is just the beginning.
Gee, that was satisfying. Number 8, Half-Life 2, Episode 2. Half-Life 2 may have been a tour de force, but its ending was a jumble of loose ends.
Come on, Gordon. You've got to get out of here. Still have
time, Dr. Freeman?
So when 3 follow-up episodes were announced, fans eagerly awaited a proper ending to their beloved series, with the horrific cliffhanger at the end of episode 2 only further whetting their appetites.
I love you, Dad! Oh no! No! Oh my God, no! No!
That was in 2007. Years upon years later, dedicated fans are still left wallowing in frustration over this de facto conclusion.
Dad! Oh God! Dad! Dad! Dad, please! Dad! Oh my God!
Number 7, Borderlands. As a Vault Hunter, you and your friends just spent dozens of hours fighting your way across an alien landscape in search of a giant freaking monster. No treasure. Pandora after all. BioShock contains one of the best twists ever found in a video game, almost overshadowing the one found in System Shock 2.
Would you kindly get this? Would you kindly find that? Would you kindly find that? Would you kindly find it? Would you kindly get this? Would you kindly head to Ryan's office and kill the son of a bitch?
But after practicing their golf swing with Andrew Ryan, players are forced to keep slogging through what was definitely the weakest part of the game. Then, they get a crushingly standard boss fight and a choice of 2 cookie-cutter endings. Hooray for morality choices.
They offered you this city. And you refused it.
Number 5, Ghostbusters 1984. There are way too many horrible retro game text endings to list here, so instead we'll sum them all up with this gem. Here it goes. The ultimate worst message. Far from resembling a great game, Ghostbusters never really had anything to do with the theme of justice, because they were busting ghosts, not criminals. So, even if the message had made sense, what's with all these typos? Congratulation? Seriously? Number 4, Halo 2. It may have been the middle entry in the trilogy, but if you spent big money and stood in line at midnight to get it, then you expect a fantastic game to have a satisfying conclusion. Instead, it leaves off with a sudden black screen cliffhanger.
The prophets have betrayed us.
Even worse, Chief had already signed out at the end of the second to last stage, so the finale was an arbiter level. Did they run out of money or something?
Master Chief, you mind telling me what you're doing on that ship?
Sir, finishing this fight.
Number 3, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, The Sith Lords. This 50-hour-plus role-playing game had you spend a great deal of time developing your relationships with the supporting characters, just to bottleneck at a cheap ending in which absolutely none of that mattered. No matter what you do, Kriya collapses and the planet blows up. You never find out why she turned out to be a Sith Lord, or why you decided to blow up the planet. Seriously, what the hell just happened? Number 2, Mass Effect 3. This epic trilogy is tightly focused on the theme of personal choice. Even spanning 3 titles, mass relays have to blow. Number 1, Ghosts and Goblins. Taking the top spot on our list is the nearly impossible 8-bit game that pulled gaming's most infamous fast one. Here, you finish the entire game only to be told that the final fight was an illusion, sending you back to the very beginning. Only by beating the game again immediately, because there's no save option, can you see the real ending. Adding insult to injury, even that read like a badly translated fortune cookie. Agree with our list?
A man chooses.
Which ending had you clamoring for a retcon? For more great top 10s, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com. Please be advised, the following, as you should expect, contains mature content. It's also pretty gross. Just to be clear, featuring such over-the-top violence did not necessarily make these games good. In fact, for many of those listed, it's just the opposite. Several of the following serve as perfect examples of how gore porn does not a good game make. Number 10, Phantasmagoria. Kicking off our list is the game about an author in a demonic mansion, which was banned down under in Australia and refused by American retailers, despite its development by the maker of the family-friendly King's Quest series. A cinematic interactive point-and-click game, it focuses on psychological horror, but features a decent amount of gore, and even rape. While not as graphic as modern games, it was a trailblazer of violence and featured an actual actor, making it all the more disturbing to the uninitiated. Number 9, Dead Space series. Up next is the modern horror franchise that's been banned in Germany, China, and Japan. Here, you play an engineer stranded in space and surrounded by necromorphs, grotesque monstrosities that can only be killed through wanton dismemberment. Yes, the main gameplay gimmick revolves around chopping your enemies to bits, and that's only if they don't get their claws on you first. Number 8, the Darkness series. Based on a comic book series of the same name, in The Darkness, you play a mob assassin who possesses the power of an ancient demon. Clad with two snake-like tendril appendages, you don't just shoot your